So what's up, Omar? How's everything
I'm
going?
cool, thank you.
All
Right
right.
now in the middle of a little tour here in the States. I started off in LA, San Francisco, Atlanta, did DC last night. So we're going to New York and then we're going up to Canada.
Okay, so the tour is going great, I
Yeah,
assume.
very good so
Okay,
far.
are the U.S. Taken to you? How's that going?
Yeah, audiences sold out, packed every time. So it's been good fun. I mean, I've never been disappointed, for the past 4 or 5 years. Been coming back and, it just keeps getting better and better. So
Okay.
yeah, it's really cool.
Okay. I also want to ask, I'm going to check out the New York appearance on Wednesday night. Okay, so um, I fell in love with the Best by Far CD. One of my best friends, Mr. Easy Street. He's a top celebrity.
That's me right there, ladies and
That's it
gentlemen.
right there on the camera. Yeah.
He turned me on to the Best by Far CD, and I gotta say that was so off the hook. You have a new project out right now. Tell us a little about that project.
Well, it's the sixth album. It's called Sing If You Want It, featuring guest people like Stevie Wonder, Angie Stone, Common, Rodney P, Estelle, Ashman. And it's my first album for like 5 years, basically.
Right. I mean, we've been anticipating this. Okay. Some of the artists that you work with, a lot of them are Americans. Can you tell us the difference? Sometimes I'm a little baffled about the status of the American or artists from the United States, how they're received in London. Tell us a little about that. They seem to actually have a better fan base in London.
I wouldn't say it's so much better because American artists can sell music on like the R&B charts without touching the mainstream and sell quite a few, shift quite a few copies. Whereas in the UK, our artists have to deal with a smaller percentage of people that will buy that kind of music. So some of them have to like cross over. But now with the internet and everything, people can sell worldwide. I mean, which changes the whole game.
Okay, so how is everything going globally?
Fantastic. It's released pretty much worldwide now. I've covered Europe and Japan, the States now, and also South Africa's been on the cards. I think that's coming into play. Also Australia and New Zealand, right? So places that I haven't touched on before, and also Indonesia was another spot, which I was quite shocked to see there was a fan base there too. So it's fantastic.
Okay. On the last CD, I didn't get a chance to listen to the first couple CDs, but the Best by Far CD, you did a lot of. It was kind of smooth, and it was kind of a Latin feel with that also.
Yeah.
This time it's a more up tempo. How'd you decide to do a little more up tempo?
Well, this time I wanted something like you say was a bit more up tempo, and plus I wanted to get played in the clubs. So I just thought I wanted to have some more funky beats.
Okay.
That's why I got my younger brother Scratch Professor to come in and help me out with certain tracks because he's a hip hop and reggae producer as well, and it just helped out no end. And I think it worked. With the last album, it was very film soundtrack orientated. I was influenced by people like Lala Schifrin, Burt Bacharach, John Barry. And that's quite highbrow.
Right.
And this one I wanted just something a bit more, it's kind of street, if you want to put it that way. It's a bit more raw.
Okay.
And I think I managed to achieve that.
Okay. You mentioned you're doing some work with your brother. I also heard you during another interview mention that your father has been in the industry for many years. What were some of your influences, and was your dad one of your influences?
Yeah, absolutely. My dad was a session drummer in the 60s, 70s. Played with Bob Andy, Marcia Griffiths, the Rolling Stones, Bob Marley, Jimi Hendrix even he had a jam with one time. It was him that was my influence when I first started writing songs and producing music. And I kind of still hear his voice in my head to this day.
Okay.
It just set some kind of ground rules for how tunes are supposed to, or good tunes are put together, and I've kind of stuck to it ever since.
Okay. I'm going to just give you a couple more questions. I know you have to go, but I just want to put it out there. You've worked with the great legendary Stevie Wonder. He had a quote saying, "When I grow up, I want to be like Omar." How does that feel to hear that?
Well, I've been blessed enough to meet him quite a few times throughout the years, and him saying that he wanted to work with me after hearing my music, that was just that's such a blessing to hear that, because that's the man that I was mainly influenced by when I was quite young. So for him to acknowledge me in the first place was enough, but to say he's going to write me a tune was fantastic. And yeah, he didn't disappoint. When we were in the studio, he was in there on the drums, on the keyboard, singing, just giving quite a little show. So yeah, fantastic.
Okay, and he is on the latest CD.
That's right. It's on a track called Feeling You.